presentation. So, this is the title of the presentation, and what I want to highlight, I'm using a social network analysis, and everybody usually thinks, most of the people will believe that it's the only way to use it, is that social network analysis is linked to Facebook, Twitter, and Google. Well, actually, it is a statistical analysis where you can actually apply to a lot of things. And here we just apply in one of this sector, but we can apply in a lot of other activities, especially on integrated care, because it maps the system. And I will show you how. So I don't want you just to understand what I've done, but to see the potentials of what we can do. Okay? So, the aim of the study. First, what we want to do is to understand if our system was integrated. And we want to see if there are connections between the organigram, that is the paper we all have in our institutions, where all the offices are, and all the operative units are, and departments are, and our goals. Okay? If there is an integration between this. Or islands. We will talk about a lot of islands. And the other thing is to define with metrics, with statistical analysis. We don't want to rely on feelings or guts, we want to see statistical measurements. And because we want to see where we want to invest in our system, in which nodes of our network we should invest money or resources. Because everybody wants money and resources, but each player has a different role, and some of them needs to have more money, more resources. We see in this in sports. Messi is taking more money than the goalkeeper maybe of the Barcelona team. The other thing is that we want to evaluate at the end of the process if we have to restructure our system based on the goals. Okay? So, where we are, this is Italy, that's the region is called Lazio, where Rome is located. We are north of Rome, it's Viterbo. Viterbo is a province north of Rome, it's connected, we are working for the government, and we're actually running the health system. The health system, and of course we are still dividing in 3 districts. It's quite a big area. We have around 350,000 people. And we have rural areas up to the mountains. We have bad roads in some areas. We have highways in others. We are very well connected to Rome in some areas. And we have problems of transportation often during the winter times. And you can see that we have many activities. We have hospitals, we have primary care districts, GPs, but we go from veterinary activity, water control, to surgery, to rehabilitation, GPs and everything. So we want to know if at the end, the global strategic plan is actually integrated. See that we have all Iceland. Veterinary looks like an island, separate from healthcare, and water control, it's a completely different area. And we want to see how it's integrated in our strategic plan. So, we take the official documents and we see that we have our institutional act that is showing the organigram. And I want to show you that we have to focus on the words. For you, departments, usually it's like a ward, like the cardiology. For us, that's an operative unit. And departments is a more comprehensive area. So where we have like private emergency care, anesthesiologists, and cardiology. So we have more different operative units inside, or departments in English language. So when we see that we have 10 departments with 98 operative units, and they go from veterinary to cardiology, as we say, to anesthesiologists, or mental health care, or district mental health care. And as you can see, maybe not very well, but we have separate areas. They are not connected on the organigram. Yeah, they're connected by the CEO, but that's not very well connected anyway. We want to see the functional part. So, we took a strategic plan, and this is how it looks. We have 5 policies, similar to what they showed you before, and 20 goals with 800 KPI. KPI is key performance indicators, okay, to measure them. Because we are using as national system asking us the balance scorecard. So each operative unit have a balance scorecard that looks like this, where we have here policies and objectives and indicators. And the indicators should be measurable. So we have to define if it's yes or no goal, or like a measure from this point to the other point, or below or over this threshold. Okay? So the total accounts would be 100. If at the end of the year you reach 100, you get a lot of money out of it. So there is an incentive. If you go below 65, you risk your job as a chief. This money will, of course, not go only to the chief, but to all the people working in the department. So, but as you can see here, the policy, the functional, is still isolated. These two are connected together, but they are isolated from the others. So, the balance scorecard, I'm not going through the balance scorecard system because I think most of you knows it, and I just explained it. There you have objectives and points and percentage. If you reach it, you get a goal and you get money. So, where did we get the KPI to measure it? We take the strategic local interventions. Of course, if we are developing a plan or we want a project from a chief of our operating unit, we ask for a project. And of course, it's a local area activity. Then we take the international program to evaluate outcomes, and it's called Prevale, but there are also other ones, like in the international network collaborated made in FISA, where we monitor all the regional activities and province-level activities with outcomes. And they are all published usually the year after. So now we are watching 2014. So, but we don't want to be judged. We want to understand now what we are doing wrong so we can change the indicators at the end of the year. So we are recreating and analyzing all this data because there are protocols how they measure it. So we can measure monthly this activity. Monthly because we work on time series analysis and we need a lot of data. Months provides you 12 or 24 data analysis. And you can see the changes along the time. So, of course, we include the regional recommendation, the Ministry of Health recommendation activity, the requirement. And we insert also Joint Commission standards as well. So it's a mix. At the end of the year, of course, they will be re-evaluated on the results. So let's see. Organigram from point of view, now it's bigger, you can see there are 10 components. So there are 10 islands. So it's fragmented. So this is policy and goals from the strategic plan. We have 5 components, 5 policies, but it's fragmented. So the only way to include them is how I give the goals to the people. So here comes on the lean management techniques. I'm not asking each one of them because it's like a chain. I take the ball from the defense and bring it to the center fields, then I bring it to the attack and try to make goals, okay? Like a team. It can be volleyball or like soccer. But I'm not asking to be a good goalkeeper. I'm not asking to be a good defender. I don't want to ask you to be a good in attack. I want you to win the game. It doesn't matter how many goals you make, because if you lose, and you take more goals, then you lose the game. So we're giving the goals not on each specific specialties, but on the final goal. They have to change the KPI, the final goal KPI. So red mission, for example, will be in the balance scorecard of the first aid, because they are accepting patient, to the ward that is coordinating, the rehabilitation that is then sending home, the primary care, and the district level. All of them. If something goes wrong in the circle, even all the player played a good soccer game, we lost the game, so it's useless. And that's very important because it changed the mentality. Because each one say, how can I adjust my part? An integration system, there is no my part, there is only the final goal. So you have to integrate. So each one will say, who's the chief of this project? We need a chief. I say, I don't care who's the chief. Otherwise everybody say, who is the chief? I don't like him. Or we don't need a chief because you just put a chief on. So I say, you are grown-up people, you are professional, each one of you have specialties, you know better than me how to integrate. Now you try to integrate. If you need a chief, you vote yourself and elect him. I don't care, I just need you to get there. Choose which way you want. And it's similar to the presentation we have seen yesterday from Australia, where they are giving them the opportunity to choose their KPIs and their goals, specific on their location. Here, they are doing the same thing. We are not telling them how to do it, but they get the prize only if they win the game. So, this is how it looks, the network now. Yeah. This is the network. And here we have the 5 policies, the 20 goals, 800 KPIs, 10 departments, and 98 operative units. So watching this, it looks connected. It looks connected also because we made an analysis on it, statistical analysis, and we have only one component. So now it's integrated. People must work for the same goals. Okay? So it's the balance scorecard that creates the integration with the goals. Not just basic for the balance scorecard, but how we get the indicators and the KPI and share them, the results. So now we map the system and we want to know where we want to invest the money. So we use some of the centrality measures. I can be central in the network because I'm the bridge. Without me, 2 islands break down. Or I can be in the center of an island and manage a system. Or I can be close to everybody and know how to share the information. Or PageRank. PageRank is a very weird indicator, and we'll see it. It's taken from Google's. It's where the information goes through. And then we have the eigenvector centrality. I love this one because it's difficult to pronounce. No, it's just because this is the indicator usually that shows the mafia guy. Mafia guy, what it means that I talk with few people that are very powerful and coordinated networks. I'm behind the scene. I'm who's actually coordinating. It's like Corleone. Huh? So he talks with few people, but he coordinates everybody. So let's see examples. Of course, you're not interested in the results now. You want to see the methodology. So here we have the degree centrality, and we have high and low values of degree centrality. Degree centrality means how many connections I have. In this case, the network is not directional, but is unidirectional. Because I'm not calling him or he's calling me. We are just friends. Okay? So it's both ways. So here we can see who is high and only who is low. And I want to compare, for example, with between centrality. See, some people are the same, but some people are completely different. So it depends. Of course, I know what between centrality is the bridge. So if I want to increase the connection between 2 islands, I will invest in between centrality high. Or if there is nobody, I will take the low and bring it over there, in changing the subject. And the same thing with other measures like closeness centrality, see, it's totally different from before. And PageRank. PageRank, it looks like eigenvector centrality. So that's why I put it over here. But see, it's totally different. And this is the eigenvector centrality. So actually, you can actually go steeply in. What I've done, this is called island method, and who survives above the water is with one characteristics, high between the central island. So they're still there. Same picture, I just filter from some activities. Okay? They told me that all the slides will be available on the website, so you can read the definition and understand what's the difference between one and another. So the result is that we can highlight the most critical operative unit, KPI, and goals, because in these dots here, we can have policy, operative units, KPI, and we can select them. So we can invest on KPI or operative units or goals. Which one are most important for us? So now we want to see the opposite. How should I change my system to better perform and better integrate? So we made a cluster analysis on the network, and we came out that we have 7 groups by the cluster analysis. So G1 is the biggest, G2, but what we see that G6 and G7 do not have departments, areas. They only have one operating unit, probably it's transversal. So what we can do is actually move these two, G6 and G7, very small, to similar groups in G2 and G5 in this case, and actually move the department from 10, thanks to the cluster analysis, to 5 departments, meaning areas of activity. Okay? So actually, and you actually see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, with these lines it's easier to see with these numbers, but the graphical is very good as well. And so what we can do is we improve the integration based on the goals and the KPI, because if these departments are merging together, it means they should merge together, they should work together. And I have to give emergency, surgery, and medical. They have to be all together. Because veterinary and prevention is somewhere else, and they were staying together. So, just if you want to know, G7 was radiology, this is quite transversal, and G6 was management of human resources, especially nurses. So, it's quite transversal. So, in conclusion, the social network analysis has proven to be useful to analyze the integration of the system and is clustered to evaluate the integration between strategic planning, structure, and organigram, policy, and goals. It was possible to evaluate the integration between structure and balance scorecard, consequently the methodology of KPI, and goals assigned to operative units. It was possible to identify the key goals, KPI, and operative units using the network metrics to better allocate available resources. And it was possible to propose a more integrated re-engineering of the structure and organigram based on the strategic plan, an important saving. Because if we compact from 10 departments that have administrative people, achieve extra money, from 10 to 5, you can understand it's much cheaper. But at the same time, we increase the integration between the system, because if you have one boss, probably they would work together. So, I would like to thank you and propose if any of you wants to collaborate, this is my email, or the association, no profit, is collaborating with me on this kind of project of analysis, and you can write one of us, and we can work together using these kind of tools. Thank you very much for your attention.
Any questions?
Thank you for that. That was great. Can you, with balance scorecard, integration, you've done a lot of great work, which is really good. How do you allow for innovation and for people to do things differently? Because you're determining goals, you say we're going to achieve these items, but what if it needs to change and you don't want to constrain it, but you want it to go in different directions? How do you allow for that, rather than trying to put everyone into 5 groups? What if there is something else that needs to develop? How do you identify it?
Okay, let's make an example. We have the entire health system, and there is an indicators, number of suicide in our province. Okay, when I propose this indicator, people wonder, what? I never touched a subject like this. How can I work on it? It's so transversal, and we have to work with the local communities as well, with the social workers, and we have to work with the mental health, but we have to work on the job activities and job opportunities and the crisis. And the answer was, I will put the same indicators to all the actors. If you have more actors to propose, we will integrate them. Of course, they will have, based on their activity, more or less weight on the balance scorecard, but then you come up with a proposal. And the strategic direction will analyze it and approve it or not. So we actually forced to go in that direction and then support them based on their ideas and evaluate their ideas. So it's not just putting them in a group, it's just saying, if you need more people, tell us, and we put the same people in the same group with you. Then you are in a single boat, all together. You have to get through this, otherwise you will be penalized at the end of the year. So we just put in the boat and say, go in that direction, these is instruments. If you have more, please tell us and we will support you.
May I ask just a very technical question?
Sure.
What are you measuring in the network? Are you measuring the relationship, or are you measuring the shared goals of the parties, which is something fundamentally different? Because you can measure in social network analysis, are we sharing information? Are we doing reference, which is another type of measure, which is a more sociological network analysis? Yeah. It's not clear to me what you are, in the validity and the reliability of the relationship between your parties, what you're measuring. Yeah. Because it could be that you are measuring, okay, we will collaborate to set a goal, but you are not sure whether they are collaborating actively.
Yes, because we are not measuring the relationships. Otherwise, we have to put different data inside.
Yes.
We are measuring our strategic plan and if the plan was integrated. Because of course, if I start from a fragmented plan, then I will have a fragmented solution. Because it's like when I design like a house. If I make all the rooms disconnected, then I have 5 rooms disconnected with the strategic plan. So I'm checking here only the strategic plan, if it was integrated. But we can use the social network analysis to monitor that. For example, I could take the log from the server of the system and measure the emails that each one is sending to the others and see how they are calling each other and writing each other if they're connections. That's, I will see the functionality of the network.
Because there is a risk of strategic scoring of your system, of course, because you are controlling them. If they fill out their balanced scorecard,
but
they
this
will
is
score it strategically.
But this is a control for our strategic plan.
Yes, but if I know that you are controlling me, I will put some different tags on.
No. The operating...
That's what we see
no,
in
no.
some systems. I understand it.
No, but the people, this is like a feedback for us.
Yeah.
It's like auto-monitoring.
Yeah.
So the other cannot decide or not. They can negotiate the single KPI, but they cannot change the system. So it's like our feedback, if our strategic plan was integrated or not. That's what we want to achieve and what was the presentation about. To understand if our logical point of view was actually integrated, because we have so many different types of activities that the risk was to be not integrated one each other.
So our next speaker is Mark. I think
Is this one?
yeah.
Thank you very much.